Israel has declared that Jerusalem is the capital and will never again be divided or separated from the Jewish people. It's amazing. It's the one capital in the world that the nations of the world refuse to recognize. Think about that. It is the key issue of all issues with a peace talk, everything. Every peace agreement always deals with Jerusalem, and they say, well, we'll deal with that after that. We'll get everything, and then we'll deal with Jerusalem. Just this last November, we were in Jerusalem. Many of you were with me on the Temple Mount, and as I was speaking, members of the Islamic Authority began shadowing me, and a man interrupted me and told me I had to stop speaking. Why? Because I had referred to the fact that the temple stood on the Temple Mount. They claim there never was a temple on the Temple Mount. It just happens to be called the Temple Mount for some reason they can't figure out. So we were thrown off the Temple Mount by the Muslim authorities for mentioning that there was a temple once on the Temple Mount. Jerusalem, the only capital in the world that the world refuses to recognize. Now look at the big picture. 4,000, 3,000, 2,000 years. All sorts of powers and kingdoms and empires that claim Jerusalem. So a question, in the last 4,000 years, how many of those powers and nations have had Jerusalem as its capital? With the possible exception of the first Crusader kingdom, which could be argued wasn't really a nation and lasted for a short time, in 4,000 years, only one. Jerusalem has been the capital only of the nation of Israel. Israel's the only nation that made Jerusalem its capital. To the Romans, Jerusalem was nothing but a thorn in their side, a city they would have preferred not to exist if they tried to make it not exist. Under Islamic rule, Jerusalem wasn't a capital, a city of different sites over which they could claim supremacy. And for most of the 400 years under the Ottoman Turkish Empire, Jerusalem was a relic of a city. What happened to the Holy Land? What happened to the Holy City into the 2,000 years where the Jewish people weren't pretty much there? For the most part, it decayed. It decayed and decayed and decayed. Largely abandoned, abused.
To find out how you can receive more of Jonathan's teachings, to receive special free gifts, or get in touch, go to hopeoftheworld.org or call toll-free 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's hopeoftheworld.org or call 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's 1-800-937-4821. You can also get more at Jonathan Cahn's Facebook page or write us direct at Hope of the World, Box 1111, Lodi, New Jersey 07644, USA. Hope of the World is dedicated to the goal of spreading God's Word and salvation to every land and people. We do this by spreading the Word throughout the world and sponsoring compassion projects to the most poor and needy around the earth. To get in touch or have a part in God's work, just write to Hope of the World, Box 1111, Lodi, New Jersey 07644, USA. Or go to hopeoftheworld.org or call 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's 1-800-937-4821.